it is to this right here. So that way, when I go in, my hinge size is relatively uniform all the way across. Sometimes you can have it so your tip's back a little farther, and it makes it so that way it's kind of V-shaped in the back, and it makes it extra big so that the tree won't want to go over when you want it to. So you'll have to do a little stuff later to get it to do it. If you're using hammer wedges, if we're using a machine, it's not going to care. And I'm going in, all of a sudden my saw dives in a little bit. That's where I kind of hit my other two cuts. So my tips are good, but I'm a little tiny bit off on the planes, but that's okay. I'm gonna go right in, bury the saw nice and far in, go all the way back so I have a little bit of back strap. We'll get the skid steer all ready to go, and it's just gonna pull it over for us. Okay, babe, go ahead. Gonna get him all screwed up. Okay, so I just want him to have just a little bit of tension on it, so that way if he has to go and pull, he can, then there's no shocking or anything like that. But I'm gonna go through and just sever it. You see my lines are actually pretty close. Well, when we look at our bottom, cool thing that you can do, what a lot of loggers will end up doing is you see them actually bore into the tree, and they'll use the attack side. So they'll go through with the top side and start coming backwards, and that's what I did on this side. And what it did is it deposited a whole bunch of this sawdust right here. So there's a bunch of sawdust in that cut. What that sawdust does is that acts like a wedge as well. So this will help pile in there and help keep the tree, if it does sit back on you a little bit, you can get your bar out still. And when you look at what happened here, there's a section where my bar went in pretty well, and then it didn't. So my two planes were just a little tiny bit off, but that was perfect. And you want to be a little bit low. If you're high, then your saw would end up being in the wood of the tree if it kept going on. But if you're a little bit low, it will stay inside the stump. So on your second cut, it's okay to be just a hair lower. So that way it doesn't end up going with the tree when it falls over. But when the tree is too big for your saw, that's something you can do. If we're up a little bit higher, sometimes it's easier to get them to line up a little bit nicer. But we don't really care, so we're just going to cut this nice and low anyway, and we are just trying to keep away from the steel. So if you guys have any questions, leave them below. We'll try our best to answer them, or answer them in the video as well. And just like and subscribe, and hopefully this helps and that allows you to tackle some big trees that are relatively in your skill level. If you could do it, we would love it. So that way it's less trees for all the tree guys to cut, because they just keep growing.